In a field crowded with self-proclaimed experts, what makes Dr. Joel Wallach different? Well, for starters, he actually is an expert in agriculture, in veterinary medicine, and in human medicine. His expertise has given him a unique insight into human health and nutrition. His distinctive point of view has allowed him to explore and discover the key to longevity and good health. As with many great breakthroughs, the route to this discovery has been unconventional. Dr. Wallach started his voyage of discovery by obtaining a degree in agriculture with a major in animal husbandry. This is where he learned how to develop rations and diets to increase production, fertility, and survivability of newborns, and how to contribute to longevity in animals. His minor was in field crops and soils, and here he learned the chemistry of soils and how they affect the nutritional value of foods. But his voyage did not stop there. Dr. Wallach went on to veterinary school and learned that it was possible to prevent and cure some 900 different diseases in animals with nutritional formulas. Although seemingly unrelated to human health and nutrition, most of the research leading to this knowledge is done by the United States Department of Agriculture. This branch of government has a human nutrition division where this information is always linked from animals to humans. Dr. Wallach's innate curiosity and insightful views on health were further shaped by his constant involvement in both formal and informal research. With his diverse and extensive credentials, Dr. Wallach was hired by the National Institute of Health to work on a $7.5 million study carried out in the 1960s to try and understand whether there was any connection between pollutants in the environment and deaths from natural causes. This was an extensive study involving autopsies on 17,500 animals of 454 species at big zoos across the United States, with over 3,000 human beings from big cities for comparison. The results were startling. What they found were that animals and human beings that died from natural causes actually died of nutritional diseases. This was an epiphany for Dr. Wallach. From that moment on, he became a man with a mission. He naturally assumed that he would be able to inform and enlighten physicians and persuade them to employ this information to solve health problems in human beings. But this proved to be a dead end. Frustrated but not defeated, he took a different approach. He went back to school and became a naturopathic physician. He did so in the state of Oregon, where naturopathic doctors are primary care physicians, giving him the opportunity to do what he could not encourage others to do. Starting in 1978, he began to employ these veterinary nutritional formulas in his human patients. The concept of preventing and curing diseases in animals using nutritional formulas worked exactly the same way in people. Dr. Wallach has spent many decades sharing this valuable information with people all over the world, and now we have the opportunity to hear some of these priceless insights. Join us now as he answers some fundamental questions about nutrition and longevity.
An essential nutrient, I guess the best way to understand is like oxygen. Oxygen, of course, 4 minutes without it, you're brain dead. Another essential nutrient would be water. Depending on the environmental situation, you might be able to survive 3 days or 10 days without water, but eventually you're not going to survive if you don't take in water. The 90 essential nutrients, which are 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids, are called essential nutrients for 2 reasons. Number one, we cannot manufacture them, and therefore we must consume them every day either as food or as supplements. Number two, if they're missing for any length of time, in some cases minutes or hours or days or weeks or months or years, you get some horrible collection of degenerative, disabling diseases, many of which are life-threatening, and these are the 2 reasons they're called essential nutrients. And an example would be You can prevent and cure scurvy with vitamin C. You can prevent and cure rickets with vitamin D. You can prevent and cure night blindness with vitamin A. You can prevent and cure anemia with iron and copper and folic acid and B12, many other nutrients. You can prevent and cure goiter with iodine, copper, selenium, and tyrosine and amino acid. And I could go through all the 90 essential nutrients, but you get the picture. Well, there's several reasons why minerals are important. I'll start out kind of backwards here and point out the fact that plants can manufacture vitamins and amino acids and fatty acids. These three categories of essential nutrients, vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids, are carbon chains. The plant takes the carbon dioxide out of the air, chops off the O2, pumps it out in the environment, and makes long chains out of the carbon that it retains from the CO2 it takes in. And it'll make all kinds of things. Trees will make wood and cellulose, and flowers will make flowers. Vegetables will make carrots out of the carbon out of the air. 95% of the dry weight of plant materials come from the carbon in the air. Whether it's a 50-ton redwood tree or an apple, 95% of the dry weight of that plant material comes from the carbon in the air. The plant not only takes the carbon from the air, but it uses the sun's energy and a process known as photosynthesis to convert these carbon molecules into chains. And it also, again, makes vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids. And so you can eat pretty terribly. You can eat a very bad diet, and you're going to, just by accidentally running into them, you're going to get a few vitamins and a few amino acids and a few fatty acids. And as a result, the average human being, even if he has the most lousy diet in the world, can live 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, but because they're going to get these vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids in their plant foods, their grains, vegetables, fruits, and nuts, because all plants make these things. However, because you're not getting enough vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids, and other nutrients, which I'll get into in a second, you're going to spend a lot of time at the doctor's office. You're going to have hypertension and diabetes and arthritis and osteoporosis and bone spurs and fibromyalgia and lupus and periodontal disease and macular degeneration and cataracts and dementias. You'll have ringing in the ears and Bell's palsy and low back problems and restless leg syndrome. All these are nutritional deficiency diseases. And dental problems. You'll spend a long time in the dentist's office. I really have to chuckle that people must love their dentist because they spend so much time getting their gums scraped and root canals and fillings filled and crowns put on, when that's totally eliminatable. Same way with high blood pressure and diabetes and arthritis and the other disease we've discussed. They're totally preventable. In most cases, they're totally reversible with nutritional supplement programs. On the other hand, while plants can manufacture vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids from the carbon dioxide in the air, plants cannot manufacture minerals, which makes them a more critical thing we must consciously pay attention to. Again, you don't have to think much. If you're just eating, the 4 food groups and eating lots of dark vegetables, you're going to get a lot of things you need in the form of vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids. But minerals are a different story. Plants cannot manufacture minerals. A plant only requires 9 minerals to be healthy and produce good seeds that will carry on the species. Human beings require 60 minerals to pull that off. And so when you're eating a happy, organically grown slice of multigrain bread, you're 51 short.